Welcome to the KingCast, the live podcast where we cover the latest Bethesda news. The KingCast is every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Central, right here in the King's Corner. The King's Corner is the place for all things Bethesda, so if you love Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and even Starfield, and you're not subscribed yet to the KingFanMan channel, hit that subscribe button for the latest in Bethesda news, lore, live streams, podcasts, and more. Now here is your host of the KingCast. He's not a fanboy, he is the KingFanMan. Welcome back to the KingCast, the place for all things Bethesda, where we cover the latest Bethesda news. And I am joined today, I'm excited to be joined today by two guys that I thought were my friends. We'll get to that in just a minute. But these are the guys from Bethesda Unpatched. We've got Kilo right here. And down here, we got Joe the Widget. Guys, would y'all introduce yourself and talk about your channel for a minute?
How's it going? Yes, I am Kilo. This is Widget. He's my sidekick and personal slave. And really? I am the one that makes the show, really. Yeah.
No, yeah, you do all the heavy lifting.
We do. I do. Absolutely. No, Widget. This thing would sink without Widget. We are Bethesda Unpatched, and we cover all things Bethesda, kind of like King does. And yeah, we're happy to be. We've had King on our show 3 times.
Yes,
and we're thrilled.
It's about time we got to go on his.
Absolutely, I am so glad to have y'all. The reason that I don't know if I'm your friends or not, I heard a lot of old man jokes on your last show. I don't know what all that was about.
That was Widget. That was
yeah, it was my fault. I'll take ownership on that. I don't think we did one this week. So
I am the Bethesda grandpa. That's all right. That's all right. Well, today we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be addressing all the Bethesda hate that's going on. We're going to talk about which Fallout is better, the original Fallout 1 and 2 from Black Isle Studios, or Bethesda's take on Fallout, and a lot of people have their opinions on that. We're also going to talk about the Xbox Developer Direct that is coming up this week. I cannot believe that is this week already. And talk about the surprising 4th game that is going to be there and what it may be, and maybe a shadow drop coming. So you want to stick around for that as well. And then we're going to get into Starfield a little bit. And I want to start right there because StarCon is coming up next Saturday. StarCon is a place where there's going to be a lot of people, some now from Bethesda, I hear, Wes Johnson, and a lot of content creators that work with Starfield. And you can join too, and I hope you'll watch, because next Saturday we're not going to have a KingCast because it's almost an all-day thing. I think it goes from 11:30 Central to 5 p.m. Central. So that is StarCon. But I'm going to turn it over to these guys. They know a little bit more about it. We're actually going to be on together next Saturday. But tell everybody about StarCon and where they can go to learn more about it.
Yeah, what you're going to want to do is go to star-con2026.com. That is the main website. And if you scroll down, you'll have a link for registering, because you have to register to join. It is free. And when you register, or rather when you click on that link, you'll be able to see all the creators that are going to be involved and what they are talking about. There's going to be a mod panel. I believe there's supposed to be a YouTube panel. They have a trivia game going on at the end. All sorts of stuff. Fellow podcaster Jessica Starr is going to be talking to Wes Johnson, Jane Johns. And we also are going to have an appearance by Jake Green, the voice of Vasco. So we got a lot of great stuff happening that day.
Awesome, wonderful. And it is star-con2026.com. So go there, register, because again, next Saturday we're not going to have a KingCast. We're going to have StarCon all day. So that should be wonderful, wonderful. Remember, this is normally a subscriber-driven podcast, but when I have hosts or co-hosts on, I should say this when my wife is on too, because I can't get a word in edgewise when she's on. But I cannot go to the chat as much. So remember, the super chats go at the front of the line, and we definitely will get to them. But we will try to watch the chat. And hello to everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Let's jump right into the Xbox Developer Direct. I cannot believe that is this week already. And we know of 3 games that are going to be there. something y'all need to be aware of, not just for the Xbox Developer Direct, but just for this year in general, but it'll start then. Did y'all know, and I'm going to ask you guys this as well, this is Xbox 25th anniversary, 2026, plus it is Bethesda's 40th anniversary. Both of those are lining up together. So could we have big surprises coming up in the Developer Direct? Now, I do want to give you some stats before I ask these guys what they think the surprises may be. But 2023, there were 5 games total. 4 were announced, and remember, Hi-Fi Rush was shadow dropped, which was really the game of that time. 2024, there were 4 games announced again. There was 1 surprise, so 5 games total. Last year, there were 4 games announced again. There were 2 surprises and another shadow drop. So we've had a shadow drop the last 2 of 3 years. Now this year, there's only been 3 games announced. So what is going to be the surprise? And you say, well, how do you know there's going to be a surprise? Well, multiple sources are saying there is a secret game that's going to be there. And they're saying that this secret game, they even know that it's coming from someone who launched a game last year, who released a game last year. And you say, oh, well, Bethesda Game Studios released a game last year. Remember, Oblivion Remastered.
Oblivion.
So could we get Fallout 3 Remaster, shadow dropped? Could we get an Elder Scrolls trailer? What do you guys think? Joe, what do you think first? I'll throw it to you first, since Kilo don't let you talk much.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's the same on our show. I just edit stuff. I just produce it. Well, we're definitely going to get at least. I would be surprised if they didn't have 2 surprise games coming out of this, and even more surprised if something from Bethesda didn't appear. They've been too quiet for far too long, and it's become kind of a critical state where they need to have something announced. They have to have something tangible to give their fan base.
Yes. Kilo, do you have any thoughts on what it might be? Joe, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you have a...
Nope, go for it.
Kilo?
Well, I mean, the 2 big things, 3 big things, but the 2 big things that we're looking out for most right now is from Bethesda is going to be the Fallout 3 remaster, and it's going to be Terran Armada. Those are the 2 things that we're waiting on. There is that countdown timer on the Amazon Fallout website. It's a big question mark, but that's in February. I mean, really, at this point, it's completely up in the air. For the last year, we've been expecting big things at all of these conventions and all of these directs and everything. The Game Awards, Todd Howard comes out, talks for 3 minutes, if that, gives us nothing. Like so, I mean, we're starved. Yeah, we're starved for something.
You know, just listening to you, I just figured out how to know when Bethesda is going to announce something. We need to go to Todd's jacket store and see if he bought a new jacket. then we would know if they...
There we go. Absolutely.
The Dang Surfer said, did you guys hear about being unable to create Steam reviews for Fallout 3 in New Vegas now? I have heard that. It says you cannot create them until the game comes out. Now, you've been able to give reviews on these games forever, but all of a sudden something has changed. Timmer, by the way, is also in the chat. He is an awesome guy that does awesome research. By the way, if y'all are not following him on X, you need to be. And with that said, please also in the chat, the pinned comment is these guys' YouTube channel. Please, everybody go and subscribe. I have to have reminders here. So y'all go subscribe to Bethesda Unpatched. But anyway, I wonder, Timmer, have you heard anything about what might be coming? Could we get a Elder Scrolls 6 trailer? Could we get a Fallout 3 shadow drop? Joe, I cut you off a minute ago. What do you think is going to be there? If you just, your gut, what is it?
Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh,
we're going to feed our first actual trailer from it, and it's going to happen soon. It may happen either this time or through Bethesda's Direct, which is happening, I think, in like 2 months. 1 or 2 months. They usually do it in February or March. And then we're going to be getting something really soon regarding the Terran Armada. And I think that could be your potential shadow drop. We know that that's ready to go. There's 2 that we know that are fully ready to go. Fallout 3 Remastered and the expansion or DLC for Starfield. Both are promised and they had this on their release schedule like 2 years ago, the Fallout 3 remaster, and it was supposed to release very soon after Oblivion remastered, but things got in the works and it didn't happen. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the big one. Everyone keeps on saying it's going to be New Vegas. Well, we know for a fact that team was just recently pulled together, and the development only recently started. So I doubt they're going to get it done in a month.
Absolutely. I wonder which I would even want more, the Starfield DLC and all the changes they're doing, or a Fallout 3 remastered remake.
Either
That is
one
a
I'm
tough
playing for
choice.
sure.
Yeah, either one is
Yeah,
great.
that's a tough choice.
Do y'all have anything to say about Fable, Forza Horizon 6, or the Beast of Reincarnation?
I'm a
big
fan of Fable.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
I
forward
do
to
enjoy the
Fable
Fable
too.
series. I'm looking forward to that.
Everything
But-
I've heard is it's supposed to be very similar to Fable 2. They're taking off of that story arc, and I really hope that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more about Fable. The only other thing on the surprise, and of course we're just dreaming here today on what may be. We know all those things are in the works that we talked about. The other possibility is since it's Xbox's 25th anniversary, it's also Halo's 25th anniversary. We might see something
yeah,
from
that's
Halo
right.
as well. I mean, that could be.
I'm a
It's
big Halo
possibility.
fan.
it's
I
very
love Halo.
strange that they only put 3 games on there. And I hate to set everybody up for disappointment, but I just know they're going to surprise us with more than 3 games. I know that. Okay,
sure.
we will talk more about the Xbox Developer Direct in a little bit, but as I said, we've got a lot to talk about. Fallout 76, Kilo, you playing yet?
No.
It's an inside joke there. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
What is going
I
on
pressure them all the time.
right now in Fallout 76? Of course, the treasure hunters are here until January the 19th. That's Monday, so you got to get them this weekend. Also, Caps of Plenty stops January 19th as well. That's about it, except for we are getting an update Tuesday, and Bethesda could always surprise us with something, but I think this is more of just a maintenance update. And then January the 27th through February the 10th, we've got the Mothman Equinox. Also, remember the things that I talked to you about last week. There are some special offers out there for Fallout. Fallout is now in Call of Duty, and if you play one match in Call of Duty Black Ops 7 or Warzone, you earn a free Fallout 76 helmet. Also, pick up you Pringles. I even got the Pringles can to do that with today. And you got to get the good flavor. You got to get dill pickle. That's the ones you got to eat.
Nah.
If you get a Pringles can with the Fallout, there are Fallout codes in the Pringles can, and you can get a free mask and outfit on that. Also, by the way, the PTS was just updated, and if we have time on this show today, we will talk about what's going on there. Do y'all have anything to say about Fallout 76? The numbers are going great. Kilo, if you jump in, the numbers would be even better, but they're up over 60% just in Fallout 76 right now.
Yep.
I'm loving all the changes they did. The combat, everything. I'm a valid sniper again, and I love it.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the Bethesda hate, guys. Are y'all ready to talk about the Bethesda hate? Because when I sit down to do normally this is all I do on a Saturday is I sit down and write notes about what the show's going to be on. And normally I can find some good news. And as far as Bethesda goes, other than we may get surprised at the Developer Direct, that may be a lot of hopium. What's going on in the news right now is just a lot of Bethesda hate. I mean, a lot. You look at the top 20 articles. If you look up Bethesda Game Studios or Bethesda, it's all negative stuff right now. So I wanted to address it. I thought you two would be a great time to address it. And there's 2 main issues. Number 1, has Bethesda changed since Skyrim? For the worst. We're going to talk about that. But we're going to start with Bethesda's take on Fallout. Is it wrong or is it worse than the original? There are a lot of people, including Chris Avalon, we're going to get into his comments in just a minute, talking about Bethesda's take on Fallout is not gritty enough. They're taking it in the wrong direction. Now, I have a big opinion on this, but before I spout my big opinion, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. What do y'all think? Which is there a right way to look at Fallout? Is Bethesda taking it in the wrong way? Whichever one of y'all want to start, let's talk. And I really want to hear y'all's opinion in the chat too, as well.
Yeah. Okay. So it is definitely going in a different direction right now. At least it did with Fallout 4, and then we hit Fallout 76. As far as the world itself is concerned, you didn't see any green or any trees, even in Fallout 4. I'm working currently. The reason I'm not playing 76, King, is that I'm working currently on the first Fallout game. And it is harder, and it is grittier, and it is dirtier, and it is darker. I can tell you that for sure. What a lot of people will refer to as the last good Fallout would be Fallout 3, because it was also that dingy, grittier. You still had the tongue-in-cheek comedy, but when you hit Fallout 4, you got blue skies. Mm-hmm. It's not as dark or, gritty of a storyline. So it is heading in a different direction.
Isn't Fallout 4 one of the later games on the timeline?
Yes.
Yes.
That could have a lot to do with the fact that it's looking cleaner. And a lot of the struggle is minimizing.
It is the latest game that we've got right now on the timeline. It is the latest game on the timeline. Now, I know one reason for Fallout 4 is they wanted Fallout 4 to be a more upbeat game. It's centered around the Minutemen. It's centered around bringing back hope to the wasteland. I think that's why they went that way. Now, we can talk about 76 in another sense. That's a totally different beast here. But I think that's why they did it with Fallout. Let me say this.
Well, maybe
go ahead.
I just want to say the thing that happened when Fallout 4 came out is there's another game series that blew up in popularity, and that's Metro, which is Fallout-esque. It's post-apocalyptic, but it is way darker of a game. People saw Fallout 4. It says this is not what Fallout should be. I should be able to, even in Fallout 3, you go into the Metro tunnels, you're terrified. Metro tunnels in Fallout 3 was scary. And you didn't really get that same feeling from Fallout 4.
Would y'all call Bethesda's take on Fallout more campy? Is that a good word for it?
Campy?
I don't know about that.
In some aspects, sure. You look at the Atom Cats in Fallout 4. It's kind of, it's a bit campy. Yeah. It's a bit more, I think, poking fun at our current, cultural climate in America.
We're going to get into some, like I said, Chris Avalon's comments, but Emil Pagliaro did say this. He said, Fallout 3, they were worried and stayed very reverential to the original Fallouts. And then Emil went on to say, Fallout 4, we didn't feel like we had to be reverential anymore because it's ours. So, and you could definitely see a change. I mean, that's exactly what y'all were talking about. Yeah. My opinion is this. Fallout would not be anything without Bethesda. We have to admit that before we go anywhere. Fallout 1 and 2 were not AAA games. And they were not even big in the subgenre. They were just a niche game, really.
Yeah.
It was not until Fallout 3 that Fallout became mainstream. So Fallout wouldn't be anything without Bethesda. So before we just beat up on Bethesda, but Bethesda is the one that put Fallout on the map. Yeah. Let me read this and we'll continue. Timmer says, are you going to thank you so much for the super sticker. He says, are you going to finish your Bethesda history video for the company's 40th anniversary? Love your videos, King. Thank you, Timmer. I appreciate that so much. And yes, I plan to. I absolutely plan to. I've gone through, I can't remember where I left off. It was right around Morrowind, though. I went all the way from the very beginning of Bethesda to Morrowind. So that would be a great thing to do this year. And yes, you just gave me the incentive to finish for the 40th anniversary. I guess Chris Avalon's comments is a good way to go from here. Chris Avalon said some things about Bethesda I'm sure y'all have heard, but I'm going to read them again. This is what he said. He said, I don't think Bethesda hates Fallout. They just don't fully understand its roots and arguably don't care. They own the franchise and they just want to do their own spin with Fallout and make that the new normal. This usually translates into a colorful, shallow theme park with some interesting DLC exceptions, Far Harbor, Point Lookout, The Pit. Still, theme parks are fun for some folks. So if people enjoy it, that's fine with me. As for me, I don't hate Bethesda. There are things they do well, open world exploration, and things they do badly, telling linear stories in open world games, and their inability to understand how to use speech skill. But every developer has their pros and cons. He was taking a few little shots there at Bethesda. I've got my opinion on Chris Avalon as well, and I'll give y'all in just a minute. But are these fair comments? Because they've really blown up.
I don't think so.
All right, Joe, hit it. What do you think?
Well, I'm the Fallout noob of this group. I really didn't get my feet wet in Fallout until 76. And that's when I really started going into it. I've been involved in the Bethesda community since the launch of Skyrim, and I'm an Elder Scrolls junkie. I'm a fantasy nerd through and through. And I've really grown to love the Fallout universe, especially with the show, 76. I played bits and pieces of Vegas, Fallout 4. I'm going to be going through Fallout 3 when it remasters, the whole 9 yards. And they're right on one thing. This is Bethesda's baby. And you are very correct saying that, but it wouldn't be anything without Bethesda. They are the masters of the RPG, in my opinion. There's no one that does it better. And yeah, you could say there's definitely things that they could improve on for sure. I mean, you can say that about any dang game out there. So, no, I don't think those comments are necessarily fair.
You know, Bethesda games in general are more for the mainstream, I guess you would say. Even you think about the Elder Scrolls. I love the Elder Scrolls series, but it's not a dark, gritty game. It's they make more, and I think everybody would agree with this. They make more simulators than they do an RPG. Their games are more simulators with RPG elements instead of an RPG. Kilo, you were going to say something. Yeah. What was you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say there's a couple things you got to take into account here. Is when Interplay made Fallout, you're talking about the mid to late 90s, and I know that back at that time, isometric style action games were kind of a thing. There was about 1 million of them. All different kinds. I've talked about Jagged Alliance on our show before. It's one of my favorites. So Bethesda evolved this baby from that into the modern gaming area, which made it more accessible to people, made it more mainstream. And we also have to look at the time that, around the time that Fallout 3 came out, the time leading up to it, before, there was a bit of a pop culture tendency to go darker, to go grittier. That was something that was in the public consciousness, that grittier and darker is better. We're kind of not in that same pop culture mindset now. I think, I don't know, maybe the real world is dark enough. Mm-hmm. But so the games are evolving with the mainstream, and when you're a company that's making money, it's going to go that way.
You got to keep in mind, nostalgia is a very, very powerful tool, especially when it involves your childhood.
That's true.
So things that induce those really good memories of your childhood are going to be painted in a way better light than what they actually were. And that's what happens a lot when you talk about older games, especially ones that you that you were in love with, that you spent your childhood doing. Absolutely. Like, I've gone back and played games that were my childhood favorites and realized, these are kind of garbage, but I loved them, and I'll still play them because of the memory's sake. It's the nostalgia.
Well, we overlook the negatives and just focus on the positives. Yeah. Flake says, brutally honest, I think BGS is letting Fallout down a bit. The tone is consistently getting lighter. The art direction is shifting, less gritty. Choices are rare. Now, I think let's go ahead and bring Fallout 76 into the mix, and go ahead and bring the Fallout TV show into the mix, because both of these are canon, according to Todd. So we've got to bring those into it. Some people are thinking about the Fallout TV show that, well, Bethesda is just getting rid of everything that Obsidian did. And I can feel that just a little bit, because what they did to my Kings, y'all know I have a,
Yeah.
I'm hurt over that. But, so far they blew up Shady Sands. It's gone. I mean, that was the first real city after,
that you go
in
to.
Fallout.
Yep.
So it's gone. The Brotherhood of Steel West Coast is now fractured and going crazy. Who knows what's going on with the Kings, if there's any even left. Even the Caesar's Legion, is having troubles. Is this Bethesda just wiping the slate clean and changing Fallout to be what they want? I would say this: Bethesda has that right. Not only do they own it, they own it because of what they've done with Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, making it a mainstream stay. Now, we can have an argument of which way we want them to go.
Right.
I think Bethesda has the ability to go darker if they want to. And I guess instead of darker, maybe I would just say more serious. Would that be a good way of saying it? I wish because Far Harbor was by far, in my opinion, better than the main part of Fallout 4. Far Harbor, I loved the tone. I loved everything
Far
about
Harbor.
it. Yes.
Except the mini game that you have to get through to get Demo's memory.
That was awful. And it was
Quick
always
little question
bugged
for you
anyway.
guys.
You couldn't get through it. But just the tone of Far Harbor, though, I liked better than Fallout 4 in general. And I think maybe that's what people are wanting more, is Bethesda.
Well, this is what Flake's 1972, so I'm assuming you're a Gen Xer for sure, says more serious, more mature.
Yes,
As
more mature.
We're gamers. But I mean, we started in the 80s or earlier. We grew up on this stuff. The game's got to kind of move with us a little bit, right? It's got to grow up with us a little bit. So yeah, we don't want an amusement park. We want a more serious, more mature story. Break my heart, but don't,
Is
You guys
Bethesda...
ever consider?
Go ahead, Widget.
I'm interrupting you. It's your show.
No,
Go.
you go. I was just thinking,
Yes.
is Bethesda trying to appeal to the masses instead of just us? In other words, the hardcore, old
absolutely.
gamers.
I mean,
Well,
that's
yeah,
what
of
I was
course they
just,
are.
that's what I was just
Yeah.
talking about. That, they got to, if they want to make money, they got to make it podcast.
Especially with their
brain
new
fart.
ownership.
Appeal to everybody.
Yeah, accessible.
Accessible. Yeah. Widget, where would you go? Was that where you were going?
No, I had a different thought.
Okay.
I was just thinking about, did you guys consider yet that maybe the TV show is setting up Fallout 5?
It absolutely is. 100% is.
Yeah.
100%.
Todd has already said that the things that happen in the show, that Fallout 5 is going to live in a universe where the things that happen in the show have happened or are happening. So yes,
See,
I still believe it's going to be on the West Coast. I believe it's going to be San Francisco, and I believe I think that's some of people's rub. Are they rechanging the West Coast to be more Bethesda instead of, Obsidian?
I think it's a natural progression of the narrative, personally, because I still stand by this. We mentioned it on our show. I think that what we're seeing in the Fallout television show is we're seeing a world in which the player character is not involved. You see evidence of it all over New Vegas. You hear about it, like Fallout 4. You hear things from Harkness about the East Coast. I'm just curious to find out how that's going to change with Fallout 5 if the show continues. How's that going to, are we dealing with an alternate timeline, or is this going to line up at some point? Because you can only say no canon for so long.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I would love to see them actually tackle this story from the game perspective of the Commonwealth and the East Coast. And what's happening with that, as they've been hinting on the show a lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you think it's going to be on the East Coast then, Joe?
I think it's a strong possibility. They've been hinting at San Francisco a lot. There's been a lot of ties to that, but they've also been leaning towards Boston in that area.
Yep.
Yeah.
my good friend Joe that I do a weekly podcast with, he believes it's going to be New York. He's just got that in his head. Sticks asks, "Sir, please tell me that there's Elder Scrolls 6 news. Fallout and Starfield are getting all the attention, and Elder Scrolls getting no love, and no Elder Scrolls Online doesn't count."
You don't have to worry about that.
The Elder Scrolls 6 is coming first, and we were talking about it a little bit, and I know y'all know this because we talked about it when I was on y'all's podcast, that there is already a trailer done for the Elder Scrolls 6, and so it's just when they're going to...
That includes gameplay.
Yeah. Well, they've had 3-hour play tests on this game, so, I mean, it's getting close. It really is getting close.
Yeah, I can tell you for an absolute fact, we're on the doorstep.
Yep.
And I challenge you to find someone more excited about Fallout Elder Scrolls 6 than me.
I would be close, I bet you. See, I started with Elder Scrolls, not Fallout. Most people think of me as a Fallout guy, but I started with the Elder Scrolls. I love the Elder Scrolls. All right, let me give y'all another, but this one really goes worse. This is the Dean Carter, the Fallout London lead designer. He says, "With the greatest respect to Bethesda." Do y'all know those kind of things? The sayings like, "You're a great guy, but," there's a big but coming. "With the greatest respect to Bethesda, I feel like they have gone one game too far. I feel like it's time to go off into the sunset and look at selling off your IP," speaking of Fallout, "because people love the franchise." Well, stop right there, Dean Carter. Why do people love the franchise? It's not because of Obsidian. It's not because of Black Isle Studios. It's because of Bethesda. We can be critical, but you've got, come on. Anyway, he says, "People love the franchise. I'm just honestly not sure if it's in the right hands, and that really hurts me to say because I love Bethesda." And he gives 2 reasons. He says the writing has gone downhill. I would agree with that. And Bethesda's tone for Fallout going away from the dark and gritty, which is exactly what we're talking about. But I think it's crazy for him saying to sell Fallout. Number one, that's never, ever, ever going to happen. And I don't think it should. Bethesda has done more with Fallout than Black Isles and Obsidian ever could.
There's no way it's ever going to happen. And I got to give another shout out to Flakes here because he has the best comment. He says, "With respect, King, Dean Carter doesn't know what he's talking about. I worked for the guy. And to be generous, he's a complete butt hat." He didn't type butt hat, but I'm trying really hard not to swear. It's painful.
Flakes, you're supposed to start with, "He's a good guy, but."
The whole thing with the media bashing Bethesda right now is it's getting clicks. It's making them money. That's all it is. Bethesda's gone dark. We've talked a lot about on our show as to why, and we don't exactly agree with it. We think they need to get a new marketing team, but
amen, brother.
They've gone dark. Ooh. And their big thing right now is shadow dropping. They want the big surprise, and that's frustrating for especially us who work in the media for them, basically.
I have gotten in trouble so many times, even several years ago, talking about Bethesda's marketing. Now, the things they do like trailers and that kind of thing, I think they do great. But there has been severe problems in their marketing and PR department for years. Pete Hines. People hate when I talk about Pete Hines, but...
I've talked to the guy several times, had dinner with him twice. He's a great guy. But...
He is a good guy, but there was deficiencies in the marketing. There just was.
I can agree with that 100%.
So, yeah. I think a lot of us would probably agree that Emil Pagliaro is probably not the guy to be leading the design studio. His philosophy is just not right. So, I mean, we can be critical. I'm critical.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got to give Bethesda their due as well. You can't go overboard. Oh, they just need to sell it. It's gone crazy. No, they're doing more with it. Fallout is more popular now than it has ever been. And who is that because of? People love to say how great New Vegas is. And I love New Vegas. It's my favorite.
Right.
But when it came out, number one, it was unplayable. And it almost still is unplayable, let's be honest, with the bugs. But when it came out, it was unplayable. And people didn't like it. I mean, there was a big thing going on right then when it came out. If y'all remember, Fallout 3 is better. It's just better. That's what everybody was saying at that time. But it wasn't until Fallout 4 came out, and then everybody started really loving New Vegas because the Bethesda hate started. The Bethesda hate really started with Fallout 4.
Well, I mean, the main thing I've noticed is it usually depends on the person's first Fallout game. That's what it depends on. And I don't know why it's this weird divisiveness within the community, but if you started with Fallout 3 is going to be your favorite. If you started with New Vegas is going to be your favorite. And now people are playing Fallout 4. I love Fallout 4. And they go back and try to play New Vegas. I'm like, no, Fallout 4. And, you know.
I have really quick, Nikki Z, Starfield is not a dead game. I don't know where you got that information. A studio wouldn't continue to develop for a game if it's dead. And they have a huge dedicated fan base right now.
They do. That is another one of those sentiments, and we're going to get to that again. It has gotten popular to beat up on Bethesda.
Yeah.
Does Starfield have its deficiencies? Absolutely. And I've talked about them a bunch. Same way with 76. There's still people that saying, 76 is just a joke. Well, the game is going on 8 years. I would say it's a pretty good success.
Look at the numbers.
It's got huge numbers.
But that's another one
amount of money.
When it comes up, if 76 comes up, if Starfield comes up, it's just like, oh, those are joke games. Get them out of the way.
Yeah, because people jump on the bandwagon of the media. It was, and most of the bad press that came from Starfield from the media was a joke when it came out.
Well, and if y'all remember when Starfield first came out, most of the critics gave it 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I mean, it sold gangbusters as well. What Starfield didn't do was hold the retention of the amount of players as games like Skyrim and Fallout 4 and all that because of some of its deficiencies. But
people were expecting it to be Skyrim or Fallout, and it's not.
Thank you.
It's
people were going in
title.
thinking, it's Fallout in space, or it's Elder Scrolls in space. No, it's its own thing. It was never supposed to emulate the older properties. It's its own thing. And if you don't go in...
It has a ton of potential. You have to say that. It has a ton of potential, and it's only gotten one DLC so far. So let's wait and see what's coming up this year for it. Well, since we're talking about this hate, let's jump on to the second thing. Not moving away from that one, because I still want to hear which Fallout y'all like better. But Kurt Coleman is his name. He left Bethesda in 2023. By the way, I was just thinking, the reason I hesitated, we've been getting a lot of interviews with former Bethesda guys. Have y'all noticed that? A lot. It seems like everybody's jumping on that bandwagon. But he's upset at Bethesda for a couple of things. We'll get to one of the personal things, but he goes into that after Skyrim, Bethesda changed. Now, I think I would 100% agree with him on a lot of this. Did Bethesda change after Skyrim? Yes, it did. Number one, it quadrupled in size. So, I mean, you're going to have change when that happens. It went from being a privately owned studio where Todd Howard ate lunch with everybody every day, literally, to a studio that had 4 studios. And Maryland, did y'all know Maryland is over 600 right now? I mean, they are, to think about 100 people put out Skyrim, 100 to 150 people. And now the one studio's over 600, plus they have, the other 4 studios.
It was closer to 200, but yeah.
And what most people gripe about is the fact that Todd went from being the hands-on in-game guy to a manager. And that's all he is right now, sadly. And honestly, I think that's really hurting Bethesda. I think Todd has all the talent in the world as a game producer, as a game designer. And that's what he needs to be doing. Yeah. But he's managing now. He's managing all these studios. He's managing he's executive producer on the TV show. He was executive producer on Indiana Jones. I mean, he had his hat's in every ring right now. So he cannot be as involved as he was with Skyrim. So has Bethesda changed for the worse since Skyrim? I mean, you look at their output, and I would have to say, I think they're going through some terrible growing pains.
Yeah.
I'm
Everything's
saying
changing
it.
for them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
they finally figured out what it's like to be a blockbuster studio and had no idea how to do it, how to cope with
Yeah.
it.
I do
They
think
got too big for their britches.
I do think they have some managerial problems. We just talked about their marketing problems. I mean, but any studio that puts out the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition in the shape it was in 2 years in a row, I mean that's inexcusable. And I'm a Bethesda. I'm not a Game Boy. I'm a KingFanMan. Okay, I am a fan man, but I mean, there's just no excuse for what they did with Fallout 4. It fell through the hole somewhere, and I
Yeah.
think that's the size, and they haven't got to
Yeah.
understand how to work with that big of a studio and that many studios. That's my opinion.
Right.
What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Pretty much on point.
Pretty much.
Starfield
Yeah,
was their
Covered it.
their first big blockbuster, and it exploded, and they weren't sure how to cope with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Everything's picked up since then.
And I think Microsoft has been really evaluating their studio in a major way since they bought them, and I think they're in the process of fixing a lot of these problems, but it's going to take time. That kind of stuff takes a lot of time. That's why you're seeing all these fires and all these these restructure of resources. They stopped that one project from ZeniMax Online Studios, and I'm still convinced that it was for very valid reasons on Microsoft's part. Like, it was taking too many resources away from something that's going to be more valuable to the studio in the long run. So,
yeah.
Well,
I mean, you got to look at it from the
ahead.
perspective of Bethesda. Picture it this way: you got a rowboat with 4 dudes in it. Then let's say next to that you have a battleship with 1,000 guys on it.
Yeah.
Okay, those are going to work differently. You're going to have to do different things to make sure those boats move forward. Like, it's just it's growing pains,
Yep.
and Microsoft is trying to bring that into check right now. We'll see where it lands, but we're kind of in the middle of it. So I think that's part of the reason that it's such an easy target for the media and for some of these YouTubers,
Yes.
present company excluded,
100%.
that want to just rain down blows because, they're in the process of that change.
We know that Microsoft reorganized Bethesda when all those layoffs and everything went on, Bethesda Game Studios. So I would love to see, and I think Elder Scrolls is probably going to tell us, don't y'all think? If
It's gonna
if they're
be-
riding their ship.
Yep, that's actually the Widget and I've had that conversation too. It's going to be a keystone release for Bethesda, and it's going to
you need
be
to take what they've been doing with Elder Scrolls Online and kind of model that for the rest of the studio. Their community team there is incredible,
Yes,
and how they market that game and the consistency with it.
100%. Well, the other thing that Kirk Coleman was upset about, and I don't know how much we want to get into this, but he said that Todd promised him that he was going to be the lead designer on The Elder Scrolls 6, and it was supposed to be, and I found this interesting, The Elder Scrolls 6 was supposed to be the next game after Fallout 4. Well, he waits over 11 years through Fallout 76, through Starfield, and then when it comes time for The Elder Scrolls, Todd tells him, actually it wasn't Todd, it was Microsoft basically now saying, well, you're not going to be the lead, but you're going to be an important person on the game. So,
Right.
yeah, I would probably have my lips pooched after that as well. But again,
Well, I mean, here's the thing. A couple of questions. One, I mean, first, again, we're talking rowboat versus battleship, but also we don't know what his job performance was like. I mean, I'm a truck
details.
driver, so
we're getting one
you'll
side
talk
of
to-
the story.
Exactly.
Yes.
Talk to 5 different truck drivers. You'll get 5 different opinions about the same company. So, I mean, maybe he was a little butthurt, or maybe he was valid. There's no way for us to tell.
Yeah.
But we
The
can't
reason
take
why
him
Elder
at-
Scrolls 6 is taking so long is they're making sure it's going to be done right.
Yep.
They
Right.
have to. They absolutely have to make sure
Right.
it's done right.
Yeah. If you're not going to
if
be
it
the lead,
flops, they're done.
yeah, they got to be super diligent about this. So if you don't measure up, then
We just barely touched on it. I really want to emphasize this to everybody. Right now, there are so many former Bethesda guys coming out and giving interviews. You have to remember this is from one side, okay? Bethesda don't get to rebuttal or say, hey, no, this is what it had. You can think what you want to, but just remember that. And I'm sure there are some hurt feelings going on. I mean, I would have my feelings hurt. Does it mean that
Absolutely.
he should have left over it? I don't know. I mean, that's, y'all would make that a personal decision. But again, he's coming from that viewpoint, so you have to understand that as well. And he is called the lore master of the Elder Scrolls, okay? So obviously he wanted the Elder Scrolls to be the next game, but there was other reasons. I believe they did 76, and I've heard this postulated that they wanted a multiplayer game to bring in revenue before they put the business up for sale. And that makes a lot of sense. We may never know, because I don't think Bethesda's ever going to tell us. This is why we decided to make Fallout 76. But that makes as much sense as, I can figure out. All right. I've been looking at the chat, and if y'all see any chat that y'all want to comment on, y'all been doing great. Y'all been looking at it more than I have, or commenting on it. But I've been hearing a lot of people, or seeing a lot of people talking about the Elder Scrolls 6. So let's get down to it. And Joe mentioned this at the first of the podcast. Let's talk about release date for the Elder Scrolls 6, because there is a lot of diversity on when people think the Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
There was one guy called Kiwi Talks, and I covered that, I believe, last week or week before last.
Last week.
Yeah, where he said, no, we're not going to see it until 2028 or 2029. I mean, he was very negative about it, because he even went on to say that it's not even going to be a good game, basically, is what he said. But he's looking at 2028, 2029, but yet we have leaks that are saying as early as this year. So, how can we know, and what do y'all... Let me give y'all my opinion first. I don't know if y'all have heard mine. I have said 2027 all along, and the only reason is I believe it's already almost done, but what they did with Starfield, if you'll remember, Microsoft said we want the least buggy release of any Bethesda game, so they delayed it. And I think they're going to really make sure, because as we were just saying, they need a great game with the Elder Scrolls. So that's why I'm saying 2027. They're going to make sure it's a very smooth launch. But I would love to hear you guys' opinion on this one. When do you think we're actually going to see it?
My finger on the pulse of this game for many, many years now.
All right,
and
Joe.
It's not happening in 2027. It's happening this year. It's going to be happening fourth quarter of this year.
Wow.
So people heard this interview where they said they were talking about how they don't know if they're going to make it before Grand Theft Auto 6 releases. But that should tell you something. There, people keep thinking, oh, it means it's going to be longer, but you're not hearing the truth behind that. They're saying the game's done. It's ready. That they're going to be releasing it, and it's going to be very, very soon. The game was done 2 years ago, but they have been. The last 2 years has been their fixing phase.
The glue phase.
They've been going through what they call the gold phase. It's the gold phase, where they do the last tweaks, the last fixes. They're going through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. And they're going to make sure that when it releases, it's going to be the best game that they've done yet. That's what they want. And I believe, and I'm convinced of it after all of my research and people I talk to that I can't talk about, it's going to be fourth quarter this year. That's the biggest selling point in the the year for video games.
November,
it's going to be after. Yeah. Yep. It'll be after else, or podcasting is a nightmare sometimes with the
podcast brain.
Yep.
GTA 6?
Yeah.
Is that
GTA 6.
Yeah.
It's going to be after that, and it's going to hit the fourth quarter this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're going to be seeing a lot about it this year.
Yeah, and I don't think Bethesda personally, from a standpoint of being overseen by Microsoft, they need a Hail Mary, and they need it this year. And I don't think that they are really truly afraid to go up against GTA 6 in the fourth quarter.
No.
I think they're going to full send it, and like I said, this is going to be the make it or break it for them.
I hope you guys are right. I'm gonna, if they announce next week that if we see a trailer next week, y'all are coming back on the KingCast and doing a victory lap. I'm telling you.
Done.
I do know it is at least in the glue phase. I know that for a fact as well. I know they are, and see, I get pushed back on this all the time that Fallout 5 is already in full development. I also know that. You can just, and again, I'm not an insider
Yeah,
here.
it is.
I do talk to people at times, but you just
It's in
look at,
pre-alpha currently.
yeah, you look at all the clues that are going on, the new hires that they did this past summer,
Yeah.
big time hires. You don't do those big time hires at the end of a project. You do them at the start of a project. We've talked about this before. So with them already starting on Fallout 5, you know that the Elder Scrolls 6 is getting close to that phase. So,
Yeah.
boy, wouldn't that be great?
You green light after. I mean, yeah, you have the whole time. I had the conversation with Widget because he knows more about it than me. But you have the time when you're planning phase, and then you green light, and then you go into production. That was what, this past summer, earlier. So, yeah, I don't even understand why people are arguing that at all. I don't even get it.
It's
Doesn't make
current
sense.
pre-alpha phase, so they don't
Yeah.
have an actual playable build yet. But it's getting there.
Nikki just said this, and this is absolutely true, and y'all have heard me bring this up before. The FTC document, by the way, people talk about that FTC document. There were actually 2 that were leaked in that court case, and the guy testified, and every time they said there were 3 years in between, they were expecting 3 years in between Starfield and the Elder Scrolls. And of course, Starfield came out 2023. So that, I mean, that's a good marker for 2026.
I don't know why. Like the biggest argument is like they don't want to go up against Rockstar. Rockstar will be fine. Like GTA is an amazing series. They'll be fine. But I don't think that's enough to make someone like from Bethesda, Obsidian. Maybe they might want to stagger their titles around it, or maybe a smaller company, Machine Games, whatever.
Yeah.
But for Bethesda, I don't see them.
Jeremy in
being
chat
dissuaded by that.
made something pretty funny.
Okay.
He said but it's the bugs that make Bethesda games awesome. And in Bethesda, those are not bugs. Those are unintentional features.
They are features. That's right. By the way, you can go to my store and get you a shirt that it's not a bug, it's a feature. You can go ahead and get them.
Nice.
We're getting close to the end, believe it or not. Nate Perkapile, a former employee of Bethesda, and he's totally different than all these other guys. He had no hate at all to spew toward Bethesda. He was kind of supporting them in everything he said. But he did say this. He said, Bethesda is in a no-win situation with expectations of the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5. He says, even if the Elder Scrolls 6 is as great as Skyrim, the studio will still end up with hateful comments and even death threats again.
Because it brings clicks. It's the popular thing right now.
What people do. Yeah.
The Bethesda hate is going wild. It is going wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all ever watch Luke Stevens, but that guy gets on my nerves, boy. He does a lot of the Bethesda hate. Have y'all ever watched him before?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
I've seen
him.
him.
Yeah.
I usually make it
I've
about
yelled at my computer
20
screen during
seconds
that.
yeah, I don't even make it that far. I'm like, oh, okay, I know what this is.
Yeah.
It's just an easy. If it bleeds, it leads, man. If they can
That's
tick
true.
some people off and say something controversial, they're going to get clicks, and that's what they're going to do. It's not even worth taking seriously.
I agree 100%. Well, we've got about 3, 4, 5 minutes. So now I can get to the chat a little bit. Already, can you believe it? If there's something that we haven't talked about that you desperately want answered or to talk about, now's the time to put it in the chat. Again, super chats go to the front of the line. But guys, is there anything we didn't cover today that y'all really wanted to get into? Again, I have a stack of notes this deep that we didn't get into.
I got one. I want to get ahead of this.
Yes.
Because I did talk about this on my show. I actually applied for Fallout Shelter, the competition show. I'm going to get ahead of this because I saw it on a couple of different places. There is nothing confirming that Ella Purnell is involved with the show. I started seeing that. There's nothing. I dug. There's nothing yet confirming that she's at all involved with the show. So,
and she's
get
not
that one out
and
of there.
she's not great looking either. So
she's fantastic.
We'll get that one out.
Bite your tongue, sir.
There's another one of the inside jokes that we have together. I want to remind y'all again to do 2 things for me. Number 1, right now, go into the chat. Right there's the pinned comment. It has Bethesda Unpatched YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe to them. They do great. They're doing wonderful. They're, in fact, y'all's podcast is just getting better and better every
Thank
week.
you.
It's wonderful. So please go and subscribe to them. Is there anywhere else that you'd like for them to follow or subscribe? Or
You can find all of our links, our personal links and our show links are all available on our link tree. That's linktr.ee/Weird Chaos Media. Weird is WYRD, chaos with a K, media.
And that's
where
is
you
what
can
the
find all
that
of our
is what
stuff
the
there.
YouTube channel is too, as well. Isn't it?
Yep. You can even find links to your podcaster because our audio version drops on Fridays.
Wonderful. And the other thing I want to remind y'all is, again, next Saturday, we're not going to have a KingCast, but me and these two guys will be part of StarCon 2026, and that is going on all Saturday next week. So please register now. You go to star-con2026.com, and you can sign up for it. It's going to be on Zoom. Tell them about it again before we go. Either one of you can talk about it.
I'm trying to let my partner go because I feel self-conscious.
You've had your finger on the pulse of this con way more than I have, so please.
Yeah, go to star-con2026.com and you can see our special guests. You click on the register link. You can see all the creators. You can see everything that we're talking about. We got one guy's talking about like shipbuilding, another person talking about history, another person talking about planets. We got Jessica Starr, our lovely fellow
What we're
Starfield
talking about?
podcaster. We are talking about. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give the whole thing. You mean he does this on the show all the time. He just kills my flow. We are going to be discussing the future of Starfield. We're going to be talking about what we think logically and what it looks like and what we're really hoping to see from Starfield.
And what time is our slot?
I don't know. Someone else just said it. There it is.
11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Oh,
that would
time
be
Central?
1 p.m. Central and
1 Central.
2 p.m. Eastern.
So next Saturday, 1 o'clock Central, y'all please tune in to StarCon 2026. Go over there and register now so you'll be sure. It's free. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. So go be sure you do that. The Game Adaptation Newscast said, and it's not a controversial opinion, he said Stephanie is hotter than Lucy. And I agree 1,000%.
But Stephanie will boil your cat.
That's true. That's true. We're just talking looks right now, though.
You can't hear anything.
Guys, thank y'all so much for being on here. I feel like we need to go more because that just went, that went faster than normal.
Yeah, they constantly, yeah.
But thank y'all so much for being on the KingCast. Thanks everybody for watching the KingCast. I hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Do y'all have anything left to say before we go?
Thanks for having us on.
Well,
thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely. And we'll have to do this again sometime. Well,
we look forward to it.
Y'all have a